Trump said he didn't know me?
He said he didn't know you. I actually have his
Oh, let
tweet
me see
right
the
here.
tweet.
This is very exciting. So there you go. It says, I don't know Samuel L. Jackson to best of my knowledge, haven't played golf with him, and think he does too many TV commercials. Boring, not a fan.
Not a bad thing.
Now, it's very interesting when Donald Trump says someone is out on TV too much, because, you know, he's with exposure, he thinks it's very careful to just barely be on TV at all.
Barely get yourself out there.
But is that true? You say, now you claim right here you have...
It felt like a once-in-a-generation television moment. Less a political exchange and more a clash of oversized personalities, like a title fight where only one contender understood the match had already begun. The setting was a primetime town hall in Philadelphia. The atmosphere inside the auditorium was tense, almost suffocating. On one side stood Donald Trump, gripping the podium tightly, his face flushed with intensity. He was completely in his zone, talking over the moderator, throwing jabs at the audience, and launching into the kind of self-praise that had become his signature style. Opposite him, seated comfortably in a leather chair, was Samuel L. Jackson. He wasn't interrupting. He wasn't raising his voice. He simply observed, with the calm, calculating focus of someone who knows he already holds the advantage. Our Trump was in full momentum. When questioned about economic policy, he quickly diverted to a familiar topic: himself. I have a very high IQ, he declared loudly, leaning so close to the mic it crackled. Doctors told me. Never seen anything like it. I went to Wharton, top student. I understand the economy better than the Federal Reserve. I'm smarter than the elites, smarter than the actors. He pointed directly at Jackson. This guy reads scripts written by others. I write my own. My number would blow your mind. The room fell into a heavy silence, thick and uneasy, broken only by the faint hum of studio lights. Trump interpreted it as admiration. In his mind, he had taken control. He believed he had shut down his opponent. But Jackson didn't react the way he expected. He didn't look impressed. He looked uninterested. Yet with deliberate calm, Jackson reached into his blazer, pulled out a pair of black-framed glasses, and unfolded a single sheet of paper. The crisp snap echoed through the mic, cutting through the silence. "Are you finished?" Jackson asked. His tone was quiet, smooth, but it carried a weight that instantly shifted the energy in the room. "Let me ask again," Jackson said, adjusting his glasses.
Question about a little kerfuffle that you and Donald Trump are in. I just wanted to know, are you surprised that this has become a thing in the press?
Is it a thing in the press? No, it's not. Tell me it's not.
"Are you done boasting?" He leaned back slightly. "Because you keep mentioning this number. You keep saying how impressive it is, but you never actually state it." Trump hesitated, shifting uneasily. "It's very high. A perfect score. The best." Jackson let out a low, controlled laugh. "That's interesting, because I happen to have the number right here." In an instant, Trump's expression changed. The color drained from his face, and his hands began moving defensively, panic creeping in. "That's fake. Don't read that. It's illegal. Who gave you that?" "It's not illegal," Jackson replied calmly, scanning the document. "It's part of the New York Military Academy records, recently released. Standardized IQ test, 1964. The entire studio went still. Jackson adjusted his glasses again, his demeanor now almost judicial. "You've claimed you're a genius, said you're off the charts." He looked up, meeting Trump's gaze. "Let's take a look. Verbal reasoning. 44th percentile. A sharp gasp rippled through the audience. Below average, mathematical reasoning. 38th percentile. Trump tried to overpower him with volume. "That's false. Fake news. Nobody has better words than me." But Jackson continued, his voice cutting cleanly through the noise. And the total score..." He paused, letting the silence stretch. "96." The number lingered in the air. "96," Jackson repeated, shaking his head. "That's not brilliance, Donald. That's barely average. That's scraping by." Trump stood still, his usual confidence fading. The image he had built was cracking under the weight of a simple number. Then Jackson did something far more damaging than any insult. He laughed. Not a polite chuckle, but a full, unmistakable burst of laughter, loud, genuine, and impossible to ignore. It was laughter directed not just at the claim, but at the illusion behind it. "A 96?" Jackson said between breaths. "All those years building an empire, and that's what you're working with? My cat handles puzzles better than that." Trump looked diminished, stripped of the larger-than-life presence he usually projected. But Jackson wasn't done yet. His laughter stopped instantly. His expression turned serious. "If you doubt the numbers," he said, leaning forward, "let's revisit something else." He gestured toward the large screen behind them. "Roll the clip." The screen lit up, showing older footage from a private event. Donald Trump and Barack Obama stood side by side on stage, tension evident. Trump was criticizing teleprompters, mocking politicians who relied on written scripts. Obama responded calmly. He stepped forward, holding a sheet of paper. "Donald," he said evenly, "you claim reading is easy. You say you have the best words. This is the Gettysburg Address. Just 3 paragraphs. Read the first one." The room in the clip went quiet. Trump looked at the page, hesitated. Shifted uncomfortably. "I don't need to read it. Everyone knows it. 4 Great speech. Tremendous speech." Obama remained composed. "Just read it." Trump glanced down again. The hesitation grew. He attempted it, but stumbled. Words came out uneven. Lines were skipped. Pronunciations faltered. It was uncomfortable to watch. The man who claimed mastery over language struggled with a short, historic passage. Obama gently took the paper back. "It's not as easy as it sounds, is it?" The clip ended. Back in the present, the audience sat in stunned silence. Jackson slowly turned toward Trump. "That," he said, pointing to the dark screen, "is what you're really afraid of. Not politics, not opposition." He leaned closer. "You're afraid people will realize the image doesn't match reality." The realization settled over the room. The score wasn't just a statistic, it was a pattern, a glimpse beneath the surface. Trump remained silent. He looked at the audience, then at the cameras. For once, there was no response. No deflection, no noise. He turned away, waved dismissively, and walked off the stage, leaving the podium behind, the event unfinished. The image he had built had cracked. Jackson folded the paper, removed his glasses, and faced the audience. "He can walk away," he said quietly, his tone firm. "But he can't outrun that number." A brief pause. Class dismissed. The applause that followed shook the room. A carefully crafted myth had fallen apart. The laughter lingered, and the number, 96, remained, echoing long after the moment ended.